Oh, if I only got a raise, I would have more money. Oh, if I only made this much more, I would be stable. It never works that way.
You're listening to Financial Grown Up with me, certified financial planner Bobby Rebell, author of How to Be a Financial Grown Up. And you know what? Being a grown up is really hard, especially when it comes to money. But it's okay. We're going to get there together. I'm going to bring you one money story from a financial grown-up, one lesson, and then my take on how you can make it your own. We got this. So I think we've all had that feeling where if we just had that one little raise or that one more client, we would feel less stressed out financially. I know I've, of course, felt that way, and so has my friend David Grasso. He is a millennial financial literacy advocate. He is also the editor at nonprofit Gen FKD and the anchor of Bold Business, where I have had the pleasure of co-hosting with him. David is also the child of Cuban immigrants who came here just after the revolution. Their experiences really shaped his focus on not just making money, but also on keeping it. He grew up first in the Little Havana area of Miami. And fun fact, he later moved to the Disney-inspired town of Celebration, Florida. Here is David Grasso. David Grasso, you are a financial grown-up. Welcome to the podcast.
I hope I'm a financial grown-up by now. I'm a spokesperson for a financial literacy nonprofit, Bobby.
You are. So tell me what is new with Gen FKD and Bold Business and, of course, Campus Fellows for 2018.
You know, we've expanded our reach. Gen FKD is a nonprofit dedicated to helping millennials succeed in the new economy. We have a presence on over 30 college campuses. And one of our biggest news items right now is that we just completed our first 4-credit class at SUNY Purchase. So that's a State University of New York campus right outside of New York City. On my front, you know, we continue to have the Bold Business Show on Bold TV every week, as well as Bookster Business on one of our partner organizations' Facebook page, Bookster, where I interview authors who write about entrepreneurship.
And they are super interactive, so everyone should try to watch them live on Facebook. You're on Tuesdays at 9 a.m., correct, with Bold Business?
Yes, and Thursdays at 1 p.m. for Bookster Business.
And you can always catch them after, but live is always a lot of fun because then you can literally interact directly with the host. And I've even gotten to be a guest host on the show, so definitely check it out.
And we'll have you back soon, Bobby. We're ready to have you back already.
Anytime. So, David, you brought with you a really compelling money story that has to do with your family's immigration to America from Cuba.
Yeah, you know, my family, unfortunately, after the Cuban Revolution was on the wrong side of things. So they made their way to New Jersey, right here outside of New York City. They quickly learned that this was the land of opportunity and that they could get ahead really fast. Unfortunately, my mother had to grow up very fast because my grandfather died in a factory accident. And one of my mom's most profound memories from her childhood was having to go ask the landlord how much the rent was.
How old was your mother?
My mother was about 9 years old.
She was 9 years old when her father passed away, and she was taking charge of the family finances.
Yeah, and if you know anything about my mother, she's a financial wizard, and she's the type that she constantly talks to us about money. And really the most profound lesson that she passed on that came from her father and our ancestors who came to Cuba penniless from Spain and Italy was that making money was never going to be hard. It was hard to hold on to it. And I can't tell you how often at the dinner table we talk about how we're going to maintain our family's wealth and how we can save and how we can be defensive consumers to make sure that money isn't coming out of our bank account that shouldn't be going out.
So what is your lesson then to our listeners? How can they apply this to their own lives?
You know, a lot of people focus on making money. Oh, if I only got a raise, I would have more money. Oh, if I only made this much more, I would be stable. It never works that way. The lesson I have for the listeners is no matter how much money you make, you can find a way to spend it. What you should really focus on is a savings plan at any level. Because as your income goes up, your needs go up as well. So it's very important to put a certain amount aside. And furthermore, it's important to watch all money's coming in and out of your bank account, and making sure that people aren't double charging you or charging you more than you expected, etc. It's important to be a saving consumer as well as a defensive consumer.
I like that, defensive. Can you give me an example of how you've been a defensive consumer, David?
I'll give you an example. Time Warner Cable and a lot of these companies, they offer great services, but a lot of times they double dip into your account, or suddenly your promo ends and then, your price goes up 2 or 3 times the amount overnight. I constantly sit down and watch my credit cards and watch all those automatic payments. The automatic payments are so convenient, but they can bedevil you financially.
Okay, David, before I let you go, I want you to share with us a money tip. And I know in a different podcast, we had David Bach, who is well known for talking about the latte factor, which is all about making sure you don't have your money kind of whittle away on the small things. He always keeps reminding me that it's a metaphor, that it's not literal, that people can have their coffee, but it's about the little things. You are not about the little things. You're about the big things when it comes to your money tip.
Well, I'm holding a latte in my hand right now. So, let's focus on the big things. I have an app called Trim, and it really focuses on the big stuff that's coming out of my account. If I had to follow every latte that I spent money on, I would go crazy. So I use an app called Trim, and it shows me major money movements above $250 that come in and out of my account. That way I notice if my paycheck wasn't deposited, if I didn't pay a bill on time, etc. If there's too much money, there's never any mystery as to how much money I'm supposed to have in my account.
David, thank you so much. That is awesome. I am going to check out Trim right away, and I'm going to definitely keep my eye on the big things in life. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. From one defensive consumer to the other.
All right, here is my take on what David had to say. I was pretty struck by David's passion for being a defensive consumer. Making money is, of course, meaningless if it all goes flying out the window. So, financial grown-up tip number 1 is to fight for your price. Just this week, I went to pick up a prescription at CVS. It was replacing a liquid prescription. This was in a tablet form because of manufacturing problems with the liquid form. So this was not my choice. We'd been paying $25 a month. CVS rings up the new prescription. Get this, guys, $161. And this is not a one-time deal. This is monthly. So I called the insurance company. They basically said, well, tough luck. It's not on the formulary list, so you're stuck. I was really frustrated because, number 1, it's not my choice. It was literally the same medicine, just in a different form. And the doctor had told me the generics were not a good fit. So that wasn't really an option for me. So I was not going to give up. I looked online because I know there are sometimes coupons available for drugs. And I did find one that said up to 84% off. Literally, it was 84% off if you qualify. So, of course, I had to wait on the line again. And I had them bring it up with a coupon this time. And guess what? No, I did not get a huge discount. Nothing. Not only did I not get a discount, they said you have to forego your insurance if you want us to ring it up this way. So I said, sure. How much worse could it get? And you know what it came up as? $354. And by the way, this is for 30 tablets. And it's going to be a monthly prescription. I was pretty upset. So I went to the drug company's website. I was thinking maybe I'll write a complaint letter. I don't know, but I looked around there, and by the way, this was Pfizer. To their credit, they have a program where after you get into their system and fill out the proper paperwork and all that stuff, you can actually get this medicine for $25 a month. So that is what I did. And after a grand total of almost 2 hours of waiting in line, calling lots of people, getting codes, and so on, lots of back and forth with this pharmacy, another pharmacy, the drug companies, the insurance company, it was a mess. Bottom line, I paid $25 when some people are paying as much as $354 for this same medicine. Fight for your price. Please take the time and find out, can you get a lower price for something? And especially when it comes to medication these days, there are so many changes going on in our healthcare system. Look for everything, and absolutely, this was Pfizer. Go to their website. See if they have a program for people to get drugs. It does not necessarily, it's not income-based. As far as I know, this one was not. Look for those opportunities to get the same medicine at a fraction of the price. It's worth it. Financial grown-up tip number 2. David talked about an app called Trim. Now, it helps him with the big stuff. But what I would say to my latte sipping friend is that while you do need to focus on the big stuff to really move the needle on your finances and to reach big goals like retirement and saving for a down payment and all that stuff, you also should watch the pattern of the little stuff. So if you're going to have the latte, that's fine. But think about the fact that if you are having a latte every single day, then that does become a big thing. So just keep that in mind. Thank you all so much for taking a few minutes to listen to our show. The feedback and support, truly appreciated. Love hearing from everyone. Take a moment, please, to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and keep bringing you these inspiring stories. I hope you enjoyed David Grasso's story and that we all got one step closer to being financial grown-ups. Financial Grown Up with Bobbi Rebell is edited and produced by Steve Stewart and is a BRK Media production.